So the last time we saw each other, Roger, it was everybody here. We're at Mar-a-Lago at Dinesh D'Souza's police state. The movie was eye-opening, and it was kind of scary to see the weaponization of the federal government by the left. You yourself, Roger, you were a victim of the police state. 2019, you were arrested. Your house was raided by the FBI for the fake collusion, Russian collusion hoax. And then later, subsequently, you were pardoned by President Donald Trump. My question, Roger, is how are average Americans supposed to function in this police state that obviously they abuse you, and what can we do as Americans to potentially change it?
First of all, it's a very powerful film. There are scenes in there where the FBI raids some guy's house. It made me physically ill. I had to go to the bathroom, and to be honest with you, I threw up. My wife got visibly upset because we lived through that, going through everything you own, going through her drawers, going through her clothes. They show an FBI agent holding up one of her bras. It's exactly the way it went down in my house. They were in my house for 13 hours. If you had a picture hanging on the wall, they would punch the picture out of the frame, cut out the back to make sure you weren't hiding anything inside the frame. I have a pretty substantial library of books that I've collected over the years. They went through every single book, flipped through them, and threw them on the floor to make sure I wasn't hiding anything in the books. They also, at the same time, they raided my studio in South Florida, in Orange Park, or in Oakland Park, pardon me. And they raided my apartment in New York, which is long gone. You know what they found? Nothing. They found no evidence of Russian collusion or WikiLeaks collaboration because there was none to find.
Yeah, and if you think about it, and I'll go to you, Dave, if you think, and Roger, as we know right now, it was all fake, all a hoax. There's no apology. There's no, hey, Roger, we apologize for destroying your house and giving you freaking post-traumatic stress disorder.
What's amazing is Zero Hedge, pardon me, that's incorrect. BuzzFeed goes to court to finally get the Justice Department to release the last remaining long redacted section of Robert Mueller's final report. And even in there, he can't sugarcoat the fact that he found no evidence of Russian collusion on my part, no evidence of WikiLeaks collaboration on my part, or any other crime. Yet we were put through 2 years of hell in which they pressured me to give them false testimony against Donald Trump. So in other words, when they couldn't find any evidence of Russian collusion, as proved by the Durham report, they wanted to create it, and I refused to do that.
I don't say this, like in the movie Police State, the intro scene is when the FBI raids, they destroy the house, and then as they're leaving through, it's a hole through the door, asking the woman to sign off on their, we've been here. Jokes aside, they don't clean up anything after they leave.
No, they left the place, they left all three of those places as shambles. I still can't use my studio in South Florida. It was turned upside down. I can't find anything. I mean,
and not only did they
slowly
not find,
sorting through that wreckage.
They find no evidence of Russia collusion, but like not to say they find no evidence of anything else. It's like had they found an incidental crime, if you had a little baggie of cocaine, they would have found that. They would have come after. They found nothing else.
Well, I'll tell you what's interesting. So I worked for 5 years on a book to make the case that John F. Kennedy Jr. was murdered. I believe he was murdered. I had a hard copy of it printed, of the manuscript printed out. There was a copy in the hard drive of my office computer, and I had 5 draws of the research, which was the transcripts of interviews, newspaper clippings, stuff that cannot be duplicated. They're gone, and they were never returned. So 5 years of my life down the drain. Yes, I believe that John Kennedy was murdered. When your plane has engine problems, it doesn't explode in midair. I had 5 witnesses who saw an explosion in the air. They're all deceased now. I had one newspaper story that reported it. When I went to this weekly newspaper, they insisted, there's nobody here by that name. We don't know who wrote that story. That's a forgery. None of those things were true.
Is it true he was gearing up to run for senator?
And that is the motive in those who killed him.
And who became senator in his place?
I believe that Hillary Clinton, who visited a very powerful New York State Democrat, a guy named Steve Pidgeon, who was the Erie County Democratic Party chairman. She was on her listening tour. She solicited his support. He said, well, I could be for you, but frankly, I'm waiting for John F. Kennedy Jr. I've always been close to the Kennedys. And she said, well, that problem's about to take care of itself.
Yeah, weird.
And a week later, it did.